Hello and welcome to another meeting of the Trading Card Preservation Society. Matt F. here, and this is part 2 of our episode number 3. Episode number 4 will be our end of the year special, in which Dave the Cardboard Junkie and I hand out our Best of Awards for 2014. Look for that episode before the end of 2014. Remember, you can always download the podcast from iTunes, Stitcher. I've got direct links on my webpage, heartbreakingcards.com, or you can find our RSS feed on our Libsyn page, which is tradingcardpreservationsociety.libsyn.com. Thanks for listening, and on with the show.
Green Preservation Society. God save the lone duck.
Really, this is the thing that triggered my Black Friday binge. I saw this, had to buy it, and then I had to figure out what to spend the other $18 on. In order to get the free shipping. Amazon is notoriously crappy if you want to buy trading cards. There are all sorts of terrible offers of buy 100 vintage cards for $10 from original packs, and you get a bunch of packs of 88 donors or whatever. All kinds of scams, all kinds of junk. But every once in a while, you'll find a gem of a deal. And was it last episode where I professed my love for 2012 Topps, despite myself?
I think that was maybe the first one.
Maybe the first one?
Yeah.
Well,
you definitely have.
I expressed that I really liked the Hindenburg set, as I call it. With the little blimp crashing to the ground with the team logo and the player name down at the bottom. I like the photography. Most of it is decent, and there's a few really good shots. I love the card back because you can actually read the card number. I think it's just a good-looking set. I didn't buy much. I haven't bought much Topps flagship since 2011, so I'm not even close to a set. So I was on the lookout for a factory set, and there are actually several factory sets on Amazon right now. If you're interested, just look up 2012 factory set. You'll find a bunch of them. This one was slashed at least 75% off.
Wow.
And it's an oddball set. It is the Fenway Park edition of the 2012 factory set, which means it has the full factory set, a 5-card bonus pack of variations, and a special relic card featuring dirt from the Fenway Park's infield. So, I don't really care about the Red Sox that much.
Yeah.
But the price was right, basically. So I saw that and put it in my cart. Started looking for the other stuff. Eventually settled on the Star Trek book and a Hammer horror. Got it, I believe, this past weekend. And immediately opened it up, because that's what you should do with your factory sets. You should open it up and enjoy the cards. Of course, the one fear you have in a factory set that is unopened. The thing with a factory set is
Yes.
Every card in there is basically Schrodinger's card. It could be gem mint. It could not be gem mint. So,
So were they gem mint?
stuff happens. Yeah, the stuff happens, and even well packaged factory sets can have damaged cards in there. You just don't want the good cards to be damaged.
Yes.
So I opened it up. It's interesting because you can see a line right in the middle of the set where you can tell where Series 1 ends and Series 2 begins.
Yeah.
And then going down the line at the very end of the box, you've got your bonus 661 Bryce Harper rookie card,
Mm-hmm.
which is in every factory set, of course, and caused a lot of consternation because the card in the pack is super short printed, and there are also variations to be found. So going back to the Dunris factory set, brouhaha. Here was an earlier version of that where instead of Diamond Kings, you've got Bryce Harper.
Yes.
Short prints making everyone angry, which just goes to show short prints are a bad idea. So let's just keep it at that. So pulled out the Harper, pulled out the relic card, pulled out the bonus pack, and it's the thing is in the description for the set, it said that there was a pack of all-star inserts instead of the rookie inserts, which didn't concern me too much. I mean, if you get a variation pack in one of these factory sets, you'd hope it would be the rookies, simply because of the Harper,
Yeah.
and to a lesser extent, Yu Darvish and Enos Cespedes, if I pronounce that even slightly right.
I think we know who you mean.
Yeah, the A's dude who got traded to the
Red Sox, yeah.
Red Sox and made Cespedes family barbecue cry. But it said here there was an all-star insert in the pack, and I was like, well, I was going to buy it anyway, but I wanted to know who was in the all-star insert pack, so I did a Google search, and every single hit I had for looking up, what the 2012 factory set all-star insert pack was, the only hit I got was a cut and paste from that description. There is also a bonus 1, in parentheses, pack containing a set of all 5 all-star inserts, unique to these retail version sets. Every link I clicked on had those words exactly.
Yeah.
There is also a bonus 1 pack containing a set of all 5 all-star inserts unique to these retail version sets. And it drove me crazy because I read that phrase about 30 times, just trying to figure out what the hell these cards are, and I got sick and tired of seeing all-star inserts unique to these retail version sets. So I gave up, because it's not even on Baseball Cardpedia or any of the baseball card databases. Couldn't find any information about these all-star inserts. Turns out it's a rookie variation pack anyway. So the description was wrong.
What?
I don't know if Topps just never made the inserts, or they just said screw it, we're just going to throw in the variations in every factory set, just to keep the people howling about Bryce Harper at bay. But I do have my Harper variation card, which is good because the unthinkable happened, and looked through those final few cards in the Series 2 right before the inserts, and found a bunch of damaged cards down by the end. Most of the rookies were fine. There was a Sergio Romo card that had a very bad dink. That one was right next to the Harper, and I examined all the corners on my Harper, and they looked perfect. And then I looked at the side, and there was a little wrinkle right on the side. So,
wouldn't you know it?
But I don't care. I wanted one for the set, and I got it. And honestly, the variation is probably gem mint. I haven't even taken it out of the pack yet. But got my Harper, got my set.
So
2012 set is complete. Uh,
more importantly, can you take out the Fenway Park dirt and play with it, or?
yes, you can. I was about to
Oh, sorry.
describe this. It's it's a relic card. It's one of those super thick
Yeah.
ones, like for the new menu relic things with the rings and the coins and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, it's really thick. It's thicker than the pack of the variation cards, so it's at least 5 cards thick. Um, and Topps has learned from their mistakes in the past because if you remember the American Pie set from 2001,
Sure.
um, those packs had a relic card which had a picture of JFK and a little star-shaped cutout that had actual crumbs of debris from the Berlin Wall.
Yes.
And I pulled 2 of those cards, and in one of them, because they just had the star cutout, and they glued the 2 halves of the one die-cut card to the backing card for the relic, and then had a little plastic thing over for the window. Because they did it like that and glued it together, all the little crumbs from the Berlin Wall eventually worked their way in between the 2 layers of
Oh,
cards.
jeez.
So, in my relic card, I see a little bit of dust, and then all the actual debris is kind of jammed up in the card, never to be seen
Wow.
again. So Topps learned from this and put the Fenway dirt into a little tiny pouch. So there is a little pouch of Fenway dirt inside my card that I could
You'll have to scan it.
theoretically.
Or you have them up
open
on
it up
Twitter,
and-
right? I think.
Yeah, I showed a picture of it on Twitter. It's a little square and little square window, and there's a little pouch of dirt in there.
And on Twitter, you're at Card Junk, right? That's you?
Yes, at card.
I'm underscore Matt F. I don't know if we've ever mentioned that. Maybe the first 2 minutes of the first podcast, but at Card
Yeah.
Junk and at underscore Matt F.
But yep. So that's what it looks like.
That's cool.
Did a good job with that. Now I have some trade bait if anybody
Yes.
wants that. I'm sure some Red Sox fan out there would want it, but it's a neat little relic. Got my factory set, and I think the price on it was $17.85
Wow.
for a 2012 factory set, which is cheaper than I bought my 1988 Fleer factory set back when it was new. So did very well on that, and I think that could be a good strategy for all you frustrated set collectors out there. Instead of dumping piles and piles of money on ripping open packs, when the new flagship comes out, just pick the insert sets you really like and chase those down, and then wait a couple years for the $20 factory sets. 'Cause I gotta say, I'm very happy with this set, and looking through some of the cards, it's not sorted, so I even get to sort.
Oh, wow.
So added value.
Awesome. Now you talk about your set was damaged. There have recently been reports also of damaged sets for Topps Heritage High Numbered. I got to give a tip of the hat to Kraken Wax, krakenwax.wordpress.com. A huge Twins fan like I am. He wrote a post. This is back even before Thanksgiving, so it's a little dated, but still, these, if you remember, the high number sets are the cards 401 to 500. for Topps Heritage, and they come separately. So they come in their own little set, sort of like, I know it's not the same, but sort of like Topps Traded did back in the day. It's a little additional set that you can buy on your own. And as people were opening them up, sure enough, some of these they've got some dings. And some of these, this is the set that has the Jose Abreu rookie card for Heritage. And Kraken Wax has got some photos of damaged examples of sets, that, I don't know if maybe someone... I worked at a grocery store, so I've seen stuff get horribly damaged with a cart moving things around, stuff like that. So I can only imagine what baseball cards go through getting them to a customer. Topps offers, the same sort of thing. I don't know if maybe you can get your Bryce Harper fixed or not, but Dave, if you happen to have these cards, you can get them replaced by Topps. It sounds like.
Yeah, there's a replacement process. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not going to bother with my Harper factory set. I'm not even sure if it's still in place for sets that old. But
that old, yeah, right.
But yeah, actually, Heritage high numbers I think is over 500 since the set itself goes from 1 to 500. But the numbering has been weird. I remember a couple of years ago it was 600s, and they just kind of skipped over the 500s. But I mean, again, this is a situation where the higher the cost, the pickier people are going to be about their product, because this is a 100 card factory set that retails for $100, so you're paying $1 a card. If somehow somebody in the warehouse drops a box and a quarter of the cards have a ding on them, that's $25 worth of product that's damaged there. I'm not sure how to fix that. I haven't actually had one of the sets in hand, so I don't know how sturdy those boxes are. I remember back in the day in the 80s, the traded sets, those were in cardboard that was as thin as the
yes.
cards themselves. But then again, you could buy an 87 Topps traded set for $7.50 for 132 cards, not 100. So, I guess if you're going to charge that kind of money, you're going to have to package them a little more sturdily, or you're going to have to print up another batch to replace the cards that that get ruined. And hope the case that got dropped is going to a guy who's never going to open the box.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's sort of like, you're sort of, by the time people hear that these are messed up or these are damaged, the orders have already been placed. They probably have them in hand or what have you, and now the poor card shop, like, what can they do? So sell it at a discount, I guess. I mean, that's only maybe messed up. I can't.
Yeah, because you can't open them. Especially if you're a card shop, because each one has an autograph in it, and if you open them now, if it's got a bad autograph in it, then automatically that devalues it. If it's got a good autograph in it, then you may as well just take out the autograph and sell that. So, but
yeah,
that's one of the things with unopened packs. It's it could be gem mint, it could be a disaster.
Yep, and Topps can't go unscathed through one podcast of ours without something negative said about him. So I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Yes.
So 2014 Topps Stadium Club was released just in November, and we already have updates and news that 2015 Stadium Club is coming back again. This time in a whole new format, and we're not going to have to wait. This isn't like the preview for Star Wars Episode 7. The new set is going to be out in June, and this time in a new configuration in which the mini boxes look to be gone.
Gone.
Yes. And instead you're going to get boxes with 16 packs inside, which I am very excited about. It's going to be, this is from Beckett.com. There's going to be 300 cards in the set, and each card will have 5 parallels. Yeah, so the 2 autographs per box.
Yep. 2 autographs a box instead of 3 with 1 per mini box.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of die cuts. And the 300 card set, that's exactly the number of cards in the original 1991 Stadium Club Series 1. So, a little throwback to the early days. The last 2 iterations of Stadium Club have both been kind of a debacle in their own unique ways. In 2008, the issue was with the high-numbered, skip-numbered, short-printed weirdness, where 1/3 of the cards could really only be found in either serial numbered, short-printed, or one of the many parallels. And this year's, I guess they were trying to mimic Finest, but to put Stadium Club in mini boxes in hobby only. I'm not sure what was up with that, unless it was just sort of a trial balloon to see if people still liked Stadium Club.
Sure, it could be.
And
yeah.
The feedback everyone gave is, we love this set and we wish we could buy it.
Yes.
But
I
it's
have
not in retail.
I've not seen it anywhere yet.
Yep, we just can't find it. So let's just call 2014 Stadium Club a test issue. Like,
yes, right.
75 mini cards, or one of the many top super weirdo sets back from the 70s and 80s. We'll just call this the 21st century test run. Throw it out in mini boxes, see how it flies. And,
I haven't noticed
we're getting in what appears to be an actual Stadium Club set.
I haven't noticed if in the other sets they had buybacks, but they mentioned that they're going to have 1992 buyback autographs.
Oh, very good.
In this one, so I haven't noticed if they did those in the other sets before, but
I don't think so. Stadium Club was always known for their co-signers.
yes, yeah.
Which I didn't see if those are back or not.
Yeah,
co-signers actually got spun out to their own set back in 2006, I think, but that didn't go over well.
Yeah, they do have co-signers in the upcoming 2015, but they say they're just out of 5.
Out of 5,
per,
okay.
per variation, so.
All right, so they're there, but good luck.
Okay, so onto some non-sports card talk here. This is episode 3, and we've gone this long without addressing the horse in the
Clydesdale in the room.
the little pony in the room. Now, are you comfortable with the term brony?
Yeah.
Are you a brony?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, I've been watching
Can
the
you
show
admit?
since 2011. I am not a little girl.
Yes.
Although I am in the show's primary demographic. Lauren Faust, when she was creating the show, wanted to make a show that little girls and their parents could both watch and enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I am the parent of a little girl, so I am one of the rare bronies that it is actually in the market demographics.
Yes, you're the perfect test case.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the My Little Pony trading card game.
Okay. Interplay is a non-sports manufacturer. They have done a couple of sports-related issues. I know I have at least one pack of an NHL fun pack that they put out a few years ago that has stickers and standouts and kind of oddball cards that you don't normally see. But Interplay is mainly non-sports. I know they've done Adventure Time and a few other non-sports sets, Littlest Pet Shop. But their main moneymaker right now is the My Little Pony franchise, which they started out in 2012, I believe, with a basic trading card set. It had, I believe, 84 cards, where the later cards are actually slightly short printed, just due to the configuration of the fun pack. The pack had, I believe, 2 normal character cards and either one sticker or other sort of insert. I think it was a standee, and then one contest card, and then one scene from a show. And just by the configuration, they actually had a slightly short printed series in the first set. Then they had a second series in 2013, I believe. And this year they introduced a trading card game for My Little Pony. And I find this set interesting, not just because I like the show and I like the characters, and this seems to be a very well put together set. But the way the game works reminds me a lot of my favorite card game from Decipher, which is a Star Wars trading card game that came out, I think, originally in 98 or 99. Ran for a few years before Decipher. I think Decipher went out of business. And a few of the employees from Decipher actually created Interplay, if I'm not mistaken. And it's funny how the Pony trading card game mirrors the Decipher trading card game in just the way it's set up. The way the game works is you basically start off with one of the main characters, and you can get these characters in starter decks. I believe now the newest expansion came out just this past weekend. I believe it's the Crystal Empire set. There's this is actually the 3rd expansion set for the game. The original set, as I said, came out, I think, in late 2013 or early 2014. Then another expansion set came out this summer that focused on Princess Celestia and Luna and Canterlot. And now this new set focuses on the Crystal Empire. Basically, if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, My Little Pony is a show. There are little ponies that do magic stuff, and bad things attack their land of Equestria, and Twilight Sparkle and all her buddies beat up the bad guy and save the day through the magic of friendship and all that crap. And it's a very fun show, and it's very enjoyable, and it is not as cynical and disgusting as some of the newer Cartoon Network shows can be. All the descendants of Ren and Stimpy.
Sure.
It's really, that's one of the appeals to the show. It's one of the few shows that isn't cynical. It's just very straightforward and happy. And sometimes you need happy little ponies acting silly and saving the day by being nice. But first, expansion basically put out the basics um, of the main characters and a lot of the background characters. The second expansion focused on basically the princesses of the kingdom, Celestia and Luna, and which was the season finale in the first series, season of the series. And now this new expansion kind of focuses on the season finale on the second series. Well, actually, no, the season premiere in the third, because we end up in the Crystal Empire, and you've got all the crystal ponies and all that crap. You have no idea what I'm talking about right now. But there is a new series, and it adds on more characters and more locations. And I mention this because, like Decipher, that's kind of how the Star Wars game came out. You had your first basic set, which had Tatooine and a lot of the basic planets from the original movie. And you had your good guy, Luke Skywalker, and your bad guy, Darth Vader, and a lot of stormtroopers, and Han Solo, and Princess Leia, and Grand Moff Tarkin, and it set up the universe of the game. And then you have the Hoth expansion, where you're starting to get Empire Strikes Back characters, and eventually you get a Dagobah expansion, where it just adds more and more of the universe to pile onto this game. And that's kind of how they're doing this trading card series as well. You're getting your basics, and now they're just adding on new locations to the universe. The second way that I'm seeing a connection between these two is in the gameplay. The original Star Wars Decipher game is kind of unique in that most of the trading card games out there, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, all of those are basically, you have two people facing off each other, and then they throw cards at each other, and just to beat the crap out of the other player. You throw your spells, you throw your Pokemon, you throw whatever the hell a Yu-Gi-Oh! Is at the other character, and you try to knock down their health or kill their characters or just beat them up until you win the game. Decipher wasn't quite like that. The Star Wars game, basically you would lay down a territory, which is either a planet or a location on the planet, and you keep playing these cards for the location in Star Wars. Like there's a Tatooine planet, and you'd have the Mos Eisley Farm, you'd have the Cantina, you'd have all these locations where you could then play your character cards. And then when both players played their character cards on a location, you could fight the characters to win that location. And when you got enough locations, you'd add up the force number on it, and as soon as you had enough force to win the game by capturing locations, then you'd win. This pony game is interesting because it reminds me of that mechanic, but doesn't directly copy it. The thing with the My Little Pony card game is, from the moment this was announced, I was wondering how the heck are they going to do this? Because this is a show for little girls that originally had a Y7 educational and informational rating to it.
Friendship is magic. So
yeah, friendship is magic, and friendship does not involve beating the shit out of each other.
Death is magic, yeah.
Until your opponent is beaten into submission. I mean, there actually was a video game created called Fighting is Magic that was very well done, and looked great until Hasbro dropped the cease and desist on them. But you could tell Hasbro did not really want a beat 'em up game for their card game. So the way they got around this is, in order to win the game, you have to solve problems. And just like there are location cards in Decipher Star Wars, there are a special type of card called a problem that you can play down on the during the game, and there on the card there is there's a set of rules that you need to basically do what the card says in order to solve the problem. You have to send a certain number of ponies and your friends and to the problem, and once your strength number or whatever the heck it is high enough, then you can solve the problem and you can get the points for that particular problem. And once you get enough points, you can win the game. So it's very similar in that instead of occupying territories to get points, you have to solve problems with your friends to get points. So I thought that was an ingenious way of making it a competitive game where you are trying to win more points than your opponent, while making it something that's non-violent and more in line with the show's philosophy. But and the third way is it's very similar to the Decipher set, because you have your locations and you also have a bunch of character cards that really, if you look through the set, there is every possible character in the Star Wars movies is in that set. I mean, if you take any scene and if there's even the slightest hint of someone in the background, Decipher took that picture, put him on a card, gave him a name, even if it was a generic name like Cloud City Technician, and that dude now has a Star Wars card. Well, the pony set is much the same way. In every single random ass pony in the background is now being put on a card.
Wow.
And that's one of the appeals to the show. People like the show because there are so many characters, and there's so much stuff going on. There's freaking horses everywhere, and all of them are a slightly different shade of pastel, and they all have a different mark on their butt.
Yeah.
And people have honed in on their favorite pony butts, and have even gone as far as to make up background stories for these random horses that don't even get a lick of dialogue in the show, but they're fan favorites. For example, there's one pony called Lyra. She is kind of, I guess, emerald green, or a little lighter green than that. She's a unicorn. She has a harp on her butt. And in the early episodes, they'd take the same pony and just cut and paste them all over the place.
Yeah.
When they needed a crowd. So you can find her everywhere. And once they got in the groove, they started taking these horses and putting them in odd situations or doing in-jokes. And this particular one, as a joke, they had her sitting on her butt like a human on a bench. Now, why ponies need benches, I don't know. Probably the same reason they need doorknobs,
Yeah, right.
which makes no sense. But someone saw this, and all sorts of comics and in-jokes came out of it. So somehow out of a throwaway joke of her sitting on a park bench like a human, looking really stupid, uh, this entire backstory of how Lyra actually wants to be a human, so she sits like a human. So now she's obsessed with hands because humans have hands and ponies don't. And somewhere from there, she turned into a maniac who wants to hunt down humans so she can kill them and take their hands. So that's kind of the appeal to
That's
the
just what
whole.
we're dealing with.
Yeah, that's what we're dealing with the Baroni fandom. Is they just take this crazy shit and run with it. And some of it is absolutely genius and hilarious. And then after a while, you turn an innocent little pony into a psychotic killer who wants to eat hands
Yeah.
to
I
gain
highly,
their powers.
I highly recommend, if you didn't see last season, there's an episode of Bob's Burgers in
Yes.
which they deal with a BronyCon, and
Yep.
but I think they handle it well when the dual nature of it, with children are interested in it as well as
Yes. adults. Yeah, I
It's
saw that
very
episode.
hilarious.
And it's,
Yes.
it's very good. They're a little heavy-handed
Yes.
because the bad guy in there is a real piece of work. But then again, I've seen some people in the fandom who are just as deranged,
Yes.
just in their own little ways. Yeah, so there's every character under the sun in this
So how-
show, from
how-
fan favorites to just random
So how
horses
does
you've
the
never seen.
how does the game come? It come like you have a starter deck and then you have packs.
Yeah,
Like,
it's set up basically like your normal
Mhm.
trading card game. You can buy a starter deck that has the starter character that you need to play the game, and it's got a fixed deck with various common and uncommon cards. I don't believe there's any rares in the starter deck,
Mhm.
but there are a number of fixed cards that you can only get in the starter deck. So each starter deck has that little bit of added value. There are, I believe, 6 different starter decks now. 2 starter decks for um, each expansion. There are also 2 dual decks boxes that have basically 2 starter decks. So you have basically an instant game in one box. There's one for the original series, and then there's a second one for the second series that came out. I haven't heard about a new one for this third series that just came out, but there are 2 of those. And then aside from that, you can buy boosters, which are $3.50 a pack. You can buy a box, a little cheaper than that. And those have your basic, I think it's 10 or 12 cards in a pack, and then there's something like 7 commons and 3 uncommons, and then a rare card in every second or third pack as a
Mhm.
foil. So a typical trading card game
Mhm.
setup. There's also brand new for this new series. There is a box set similar to the Magic boxes that they have with each release. This is a special box set. I think it has a deck in it. It has a few boosters. It's got a play mat. It's got a set of deck protectors, which is new, and I think that's for $30. So that's kind of like the 2 deck set, except it's a deluxe version of that. So Interplay is definitely making their money off of this because from what I hear, it's selling very well, and they do a lot of promotions and have a lot of special promo cards that they give away either as bonuses for buying boxes, and they have tournaments where you can win special cards that are rarer than the others. So,
Can you hear in my background of a car alarm going off?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I've heard weirder shit on the Gilbert Godfrey podcast, so who cares? We're talking about ponies, who cares?
Yeah, right.
But as far as a card game, it's just I think it's an interesting concept. It's a quality game from what I hear. I haven't actually played it. I'm more collecting it than playing it. But from what I hear, it's a fun game. There are a lot of people out there. I see box breaks on my Twitter timeline all the time. People pulling their rare cards, and if you're into trading card games, I'm not saying you should run out and become a brony, but it's something that looks interesting if that's your thing.
Excellent. So next up, we've got our new release calendar.
We got new releases.
Yes. So we've got in December. These are new releases mainly just for December. And so we've got December 10th. Well, I don't know. I think, what day is today? Today is the 11th.
Today's the
11th. So, coming soon, if not already, is 2014 Bowman Draft Baseball, which is a set that...
live because I've seen that online.
Yeah. It's a set that is close to my heart because when I got back into trading cards in 2007, it was about winter time, and this is when this was like the first set I bought again. And I was a little confused in that, you buy a pack of this stuff and you're possibly not going to pull a player that you've ever heard of, Yes. And so it was like, my God, I've been out of baseball collecting for a long time. So, also live, I know for sure, is 2014 Topps 5-Star Baseball.
There's a lot of complaining about that 5-Star and Dynasty were stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah, definitely. That has a release date of 12/10. Another high-end 12/17 2014 Bowman Sterling will be hitting us. And then right after Christmas, we have listed 12/26 as 2014 Bowman Chrome Mini Baseball, which, the only thing better than Mini would be, I guess, a Mini Chrome, right?
Yeah. I make fun of that set when I first heard of it, but looking through dollar boxes and such, it's actually a nice-looking little set.
Yeah.
You can find some gems of minor league players in your favorite team's organization. So I make fun of it, but I like it.
Yeah. And outside of cards made by Topps or Panini, sometime in December 2014, Leaf Trinity Baseball, which is a prospecting set, will come out too. But right now is the time for football cards. Definitely a big, busy time. Hitting, this week we should have 2014 Bowman Sterling and 2014 Topps Platinum Football. Next week we should have 2014 Panini Select Football. Upper Deck gives us SP Authentic Football and Topps Triple Threads Football. And if that wasn't enough for you, then the following week, Bowman Chrome Football. This is they list it as Christmas Eve release date, but who knows? 2014 Topps Strata and 2014 Topps Chrome Mini Football. So, if you like football, this is the time.
Yes. Prime football season.
Basketball, we just see one release, 2014-2015 Upper Deck Letterman base basketball, which says it should release this week. Hockey, we have 2014 Upper Deck Trilogy Hockey, release date of 12/17. And sometime in December 2014-2015 Upper Deck Black Diamond Hockey, which I believe is a upper tier sort of higher end product, I believe. Soccer cards, we've got one release, 12/17, which is 2014 Topps Premier Gold Soccer.
I want that so bad, but I can't afford high-end soccer.
Is it high-end soccer?
It is high-end soccer.
Yeah.
I'm pretty desperate, actually, for a low-end, cheapo, American-based Premier League set, but it hasn't come yet.
Well, I haven't asked you. Were you able to finish that pro set from 1991?
I got that one card that I needed.
Thank goodness.
I didn't get the variation cards, so I still have those to chase, but I do have a complete set of 1990-91 Pro Set Soccer, and the bonus packs you gave me for the Scottish League. Look that set up, and it's a 100-card set, and I've got about half the set now, so now you've got me chasing another set.
Oh, great. Last up, we've got some non-sports releases. One that sort of slipped through, I didn't realize that Cryptozoic is putting out a set based on the Pacific Rim movie which I believe was 2 summers ago? It wasn't. I don't think it was this past summer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was 2013.
Yeah, so that should be out this week, as well as what we highlighted last episode, 2014 Topps Doctor Who.
I think that was pushed.
I think when that is released, that's going to be something that's going to be you're going to know, I think, when people start ripping that. Also,
I'm pretty sure that's been pushed till next year, but don't quote me on it.
2014 Top Star Wars Masterworks should be arriving in December, as well as sometime in December, Enterplay My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Series 3, which is not what we just were talking about. This is a separate set
this is
entirely, right?
The trading card fun pack set, which if there's massive demand, I'll tell you all about that in a future episode.
Yes, please. If you want more pony talk, please leave a comment.
Absolutely. But that, I believe, that has also been pushed to next year, because I have heard nothing about that coming out this month. I don't know when it's coming out. I know it's coming out soon, but I do not think it's coming out this month.
Well, we'll try to update that. We're certainly going to hopefully have another episode in December so we can maybe get a better idea of when some of these sets are going to be released.
Yes.
Now on to question and answer.
Q&A.
So Dave, start with this first question.
All right.
We've been trying to answer for a couple episodes now.
Yep. When we originally asked you for questions, I got about 15 different questions on my blog. So here are the last couple of questions from that original bunch back in October. The first one from Baysat Calling. Who made an early 1980s sticker set that features kittens dressed up in various Village People-like scenarios, and how much in royalty fees does the internet now owe the creator? Well, you're in luck. I know exactly what this set is. I actually have a card from the set. This is the Perlorian Cats set from Topps. This was put out in 1983. It is a 56 card set, I believe. I had all of this stuff open in another tab, and I've already lost it. Because there it is. There it is. You can actually see a gallery of this set on TraderCracks.com. Just look for Trader Cracks Perlorian, Perlorian Cats Gallery. And again, this set is from 1983. It features cats dressed up in absolutely ridiculous costumes. There are, as I said, 56 cards in the set. Each card is a sticker. So you can either collect it as a trading card set or stick the thing on your Trapper Keeper. And there are every kind of costume here. There are dresses. There are motorcycle cats. There are Indian cats with full headdresses, which is not really PC anymore, but hey, it's a cat. There are cats in cars. There are cats in Civil War outfits. There are a lot of American flags for a Japanese set. I don't quite understand that, but it is a brilliant set. I love it, and I would like to own one day. And that is actually the second half of Base Set Calling's question, where can I buy one? Well, on Amazon.com right now, you can buy from Crux Cards a set of 1983 Topps Perlorian Cats sticker set. Actually 55 cards, not 56. But you can buy from Crux Cards for $21.99 and free shipping.
There you go.
55 stickers with cats in costumes. You can do that right now. So
You've got questions.
There are only 20
we've got
left in
answers.
stock, and I expect to see 0 in stock
Yes.
once this podcast hits iTunes and Stitcher.
Next up, Marcus asks, Pinnacle was my favorite brand as a kid. What were their best/worst years of Pinnacle?
Okay, I have been buying Pinnacle since day one. Actually, I bought the first hobby box I ever bought was a box of 91 Pinnacle with the Team 2000 cards.
Yep.
Series 1. And I would personally say that first set is their best. I mean, it's got the black borders, it's got the color photos front and back. It's a really classy looking set. And quite honestly, Pinnacle sort of went all weird as the 90s went on.
A lot of gold foil stamping and
yeah, a lot of
triangles,
gold foil, triangles, and that was one of the uglier sets with the foil stamped triangles that took up a quarter of the card.
I feel like there should be, what do you call it? Nicolas Cage can solve a mystery with the triangle symbols on the front of those cards.
Absolutely, Illuminati set.
Yes. Yeah. For whatever reason, when I never got into Pinnacle, but when I sort of got into card collecting as a kid in the early '90s, my dad got into collecting Pinnacle, and he collected those the Team 2020. That's what it is, right? Or Team.
Yeah, Team 2000, I think.
Yeah, Team 2000 was the first one, and then did they do another 2020?
Yeah, they did recently? A Team 2001.
Oh,
and,
right. Okay.
The set was all the players that they thought would be stars in
it's pretty
the
funny,
year 2000.
But,
and I think they had a pretty good success rate.
Yeah.
Weren't 100%, obviously, but
yeah. So I inherited the set that he was working on. It's sort of funny. So I have that Pinnacle first year set, but
nice.
I would agree that's the best. Next up, Marcus also asks, what is your favorite Tony Gwynn card? Mine would be, I enjoy players that are sort of larger, like let's say a Tony Gwynn or a Kirby Puckett. You know what I mean? They really know how to fill out a uniform, but
Yes.
So there's the famous one where he's running with his ass. I think it's his rookie card with his ass showing out.
1983
Yeah.
tops with his big fat ass.
Yeah.
And
But
that's my answer, actually.
oh,
I
that's
love
yours.
that card.
Okay. My favorite is 1985 when he has his outfielder sunglasses.
Yes.
That's one of my favorites because
It's
I
an
played the outfield of the
extreme
league. I always
close-up,
wanted.
as I remember.
Yeah, I always wanted those glasses like that for when the sun was in my eyes in right field. So,
Yes.
um,
Early
la-
tops Tony Gwynn is the best.
yeah. Last question for Marcus: if you had to blow up a baseball card in size, not literally blow it up, and put it in a frame to display prominently in your home office, what card would it be? For me, it would be. I guess I would choose probably a print of maybe the 52 tops #1, Andy Pafko, since I collect him, and it's an iconic card, maybe the most iconic card, one of them at least, other
Yes.
than Mickey Mantle. How about you? Is it a chipper or a chippa?
My first thought would be the 1956 tops Hank Aaron.
Sure.
That is one of my favorite cards of all time. Um, it's got that classic shot of Hank portrait that Topps used at least 3 times in the 50s
Yep.
on his card. And the action photo actually on that card is not Hank Aaron at all. It is Willie Mays sliding into home. For some reason, they took a picture of Willie Mays, and when they doctored it up for the card, they put a Braves uniform on him and called him Hank Aaron. So, got 2 of the greats on one card. That might even be Yogi Berra as the catcher. I may be losing my mind because it's almost 1:30 now. But yeah, I love that card. I love the 56 design, and that would make a great one blown up. But then again, pretty much any card from the 1953 top set is just as good, and I would gladly put Eddie Matthews or Satchel Paige or Jackie Robinson from that set up on my wall.
Next question. Card Spotter asks, question for both of you. What is your favorite baseball card that you've pulled from a loose pack of cards? Mine's going to be sort of an odd answer for me. It's not really anything to do with who I collect or anything, but in 2008 Stadium Club, they had this sort of stained glass autograph set. I don't know if you remember this,
Yes.
but and I happened to pull probably the best card. I mean, I rarely buy high end. I mean, I bought I think 1 pack of triple threads in my life. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but this I pulled a Josh Hamilton stained glass autograph.
Wow.
And it's just a really nice card. And at the time, he was, at the top of his game back then with the Rangers. And so that's probably the best card I've ever, sort of a surprise hit out of a pack that you don't really expect an autograph from. How about you?
I've pulled so much stuff out of packs that it all starts to blur together. I could think of a few instances. The first relic card I ever pulled was Mark Messier relic from, I believe, 1997 or 98 Upper Deck. And this was one of the first relic cards ever. It was the same year as that the pretty iconic Griffey relic card. It's same design.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what the hell it was. I mean, I was just in Target looking through the packs and here's some hockey. I'll grab some hockey packs and open it up, and this for one thing, it made the pack all lumpy.
Yeah.
which I thought was strange. Uh, and I pulled it out and saw Mark Messier in a Rangers swatch and was just blown away. It's like, what?
Like you were peck searching and you didn't even know you were peck searching.
Yeah, I didn't even know what the hell I was doing, and now I'm an evil peck searcher.
Yeah, right.
But that was one of them. Another one that really sticks out to me is from 2002 vintage. I think it was the one where Upper Deck stole the design from 63 Tops. Pulled a relic card out of there, which was Roger Maris, Yankee pinstripe relic card.
Yeah.
And that was back when relics, again, were still very rare, and something as big as Roger Maris. It's not Mickey Mantle, but,
No. It's pretty good.
it's that one always stuck with me. But as the 2000 move on, eventually there's a relic pack in every box or in every pack or whatever, and relics became a little less glamorous. But I also remember pulling a Chipper Jones relic out of one of those Target clearance packs.
Yeah.
The box that says $1 a pack or whatever.
Yep.
I grabbed some old, probably Fleer packs or whatever, and open it up, and there's the Chipper. So.
Wow, lovely.
And always nice to pull a card out of a clearance pack for a player that you actually collect.
Okay, so Card Spotter also asks, with the rise of group breaks and online sales, do you think physical card shop culture will ever make a comeback? And how will this affect the hobby in the future?
Yeah, the death of the brick and mortar card shop has been reported for a while now, and there are definitely less card shops than there were 10 years ago, certainly, and even 5 years ago. Although a lot of them got wiped out in the recession. But I don't think they're ever going to completely go away, because the good card shops, the smart card shops, know how to do what it takes to stay in business. They'll either combine with another type of hobby shop, like a trading card game or comic books or hell, even a bookstore, to make sure that they keep having customers come in the door, even if they aren't all trading card customers. And even if they are strictly cards and memorabilia, you can make a lot of money selling just memorabilia. You don't necessarily have to sell all cards. That's kind of the way Champion Sports Cards here in Georgia does it, because they sell a lot of cards, but they also sell online, and they have a large and very good selection of memorabilia. So I think it's more, you're not going to have as many shops, but you're going to have smart ones out there.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely room for stores that are with, I guess you would say, like energetic or technically savvy owners who, have a functioning website, have a Twitter account, have a Facebook page, sell stuff on eBay, have group breaks, card nights, at their place. You just walk into a store and you can just tell when it's just a matter of time until they're out of business, because there's no updating in pricing. There's no easy way for customers to even understand what's for sale and what's available and what the price is.
Yes.
if you have a card shop, you should be going to all the card shows around your area always. Um, there's just so many things that you can help your business that it just seems like any card shop that goes out of business just isn't trying hard enough. I think there's um, definitely a way that you can succeed in selling baseball cards, like you said. Like the shop that's by my house called the I'm blanking on the name right now. Anyway, they clearly survive on like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Magic and sort of sell baseball and football cards sort of as a side project. But you got to go where the money is, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, it's definitely harder to run a shop nowadays, but you can take all of the things that are running you out of business, like eBay, like trading card games, like group breaks, and you can use those to your advantage.
Yep.
Definitely. So, and in a way, this might be a good thing by just simply weeding out all the
the weak, yes.
yeah, all the crap shops, which
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of lousy shops in my day,
Yeah.
and the owners who have been in it long enough, I've seen a couple of good shops close, not so much because that they weren't making the money. It's just because they were done with it.
Yep. Okay, so on a lighter note, Tony L asks Starsky and Hutch or Chips?
All right, you got an answer here? Because
I vote Chips.
researched. You vote Chips.
You
Okay.
researched this?
I did heavy research.
Any
on
nominations
this.
or?
Watching episodes on YouTube.
Yes, there you go.
I did my homework, and I gotta say, my initial reaction is Chips, definitely, because I watched Chips on TBS when I was a kid. Freaking love Punch.
Yep.
Eric Estrada is the man. It's a good quality show. It was on for a long time. It's got that late 70s ray of sunlight feel to it.
Yes.
If you look at 70s shows, early 70s is like really sleazy and dark, and everything's terrible, which is good in its way. I mean, you like film noir, so that's always fun. There's this kind of 70s noir where everything in the early 70s is kind of sleazy and dingy and grungy, and then once Nixon got out of office, a little brief ray of light shone through the clouds, and you've got that bright and sunny and slightly optimistic late 70s type of feel, and that's how Chips was. It was almost a comedy. It was more of a lighthearted show. There was no gunplay. I don't even think you ever saw a gun in the show. There's all those ridiculous car wrecks. Ponch was just brilliant. Can't say enough about Ponch. It's kind of like the early 70s or Clint Eastwood in Dirty Harry blowing people away and sneering at them as they die. And the late 70s, which the Chips kind of encapsulates, is the happy-go-lucky Clint Eastwood, driving a truck with a monkey in the passenger seat. So it's got that fun late 70s, not as uptight feel to it, which I like. But with Starsky and Hutch, just watching another episode this weekend, it's a really dark, gritty, sleazy show. I mean, I think the episode I saw, there was a brief scene with a stripper in it, and there's people get shot right and left, and there's an episode where Hutch gets kidnapped and turned into a junkie. And he's fighting the junkie sickness the whole show. It's a gritty show, but then again, sometimes gritty is fun. Because, like I said earlier, I've been watching Kolchak, the Night Stalker, which that's just as gritty and sleazy and horrible as anything in the early 70s. It's just Darren McGavin chasing around Jack the Ripper instead of cops chasing around criminals with guns. But so I enjoy both shows kind of equally, just in their own way. So I mean, you got to go to the next deciding factors in the vehicles. So in Starsky and Hutch,
you really did do some research on this.
Starsky, yes, I am serious about this podcast.
Yes.
And about my 70s crime dramas. So Starsky and Hutch has the striped tomato. That shoot, what the heck's the car? Is it a Gran Torino? Yeah, I think it's a Gran Torino. So I have all these Clint Eastwood references, and I knew I had them in my head for a reason. So you got the striped tomato on Starsky and Hutch, and Starsky drives that all over the hell and back. But Chips has motorcycles, and motorcycles in the 70s are cool as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, Evel Knievel did not drive a Gran Torino over the Grand Canyon. No, that was a motorcycle. So, that's a push there, too. So, you gotta go with the deciding factor. And Huggy Bear is awesome.
The supporting cast, yeah.
Huggy Bear, I love you, Eric Estrada. You are the man. You were on C-Lab 2021. But Huggy Bear is so awesome. I gotta go with Starsky and Hutch.
I say Chips, you say Starsky and Hutch. Did a little
Just
more
for
research, so. Yes. Even if he's played by Snoop Dogg.
Yes. And I think Huggy Bear wins all. So
yes,
I'm unanimous in
yeah.
this. Exactly. Absolutely.
Where is the Chips movie? Yeah,
no,
no
I
kidding,
didn't want to
right?
get into the movies, but you know, Snoop Dogg is in the movie, and Chips doesn't even have a movie. I think one's in production hell right now, but there is a Starsky and Hutch movie, and it did have Snoop Dogg in it. And really, Huggy Bear and Snoop Dogg,
Yes.
you know, Mr. Fargus, that's a deadly combination there, and I'm not even sure if Eric Estrada can live up to that.
Next up, we've got Red's Card Collector. Asks, with the recent release of Topps Dynasty, I feel that Topps is neglecting the quality of their more affordable product lines and concentrating more on their high-end products. Do you agree or disagree? And will this be a boon or bust for Topps in the long run? I mean, to me, it seems like they're almost printing money here. I mean, $1,000 for 5 cards. I mean,
yeah. I mean, we could do a whole
Yes.
podcast on this question. Like you said, 5 little pieces of cardboard. They're getting $1,000 for that. So I can understand exactly why Topps is really putting focus into high end and more group break products, because they're selling very well right now, and you know, that's making a lot of money for them. I will agree slightly that they're neglecting their low-end products a little bit, at least everything other than flagship. I don't think they're neglecting flagship. I think they're more making it into something it isn't than neglecting it. I would personally prefer to see a top set that had a few less bells and whistles. But then again, the focus is on group breakers right now, and group breakers want to see those big ass hits in their cases. So I can see why Topps is doing it. As far as it's a boom or a bust in the long run, that all depends on whether the whales and the group breakers stay. Set collectors have been around since
the beginning, right?
Really yeah, since at the very least 1909 with T206, and possibly.
But really, those people just wanted cigarettes, right? I mean,
yeah.
really.
And there were people who ran around to people who smoked and tried to get the cards off them. That's well documented, but and especially, I mean, in the 30s, it's not even a contest anymore. You had people, you had Stale Gum's great-great-grandfather complaining to Gowdy that he couldn't find his Napoleon Lajoie card.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Is it the wave of the future? Is everybody just going to care about high-end stuff in 20 years, or is that high-end stuff basically going to be the random die cuts and inserts from the 90s right now? I mean, nobody cares about that stuff right now except for really, really hardcore collectors. Are people going to care in 20 years about a piece of cardboard of player who hasn't played in a decade, just because it's got his autograph on it in a piece of laundry and cost $300 when it was new? I mean, you can't see into the future. We don't know what could happen in the future. People might just not want to have anything to do with cardboard at all. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I understand what he's saying about the base set, because it just seems like, I mean, every year it's sort of like they have to, instead of sort of adding value, meaning like putting in star autographs or star, relics or bats or whatever, you get sort of like, they create something. So they have a manufactured patch, for your hit and your blaster. Or you have the basic, if you do get a relic, it's usually just a, white. It's the part of the jersey that, that would never go into a Topps Dynasty. It's the, just the plain white swatch. And although they do add these crazy things like, a Babe Ruth, cut autograph somewhere is in a pack, one card is in out of the millions of packs. There's not much value other than, you're just collecting the base set, and you're right. If those people stay, well, then it'll all be great. There'll be the whales for the Dynasty and the collectors for the flagship, and Michael Eisner can buy another yacht. But who knows? I mean, if they do this right, maybe they can continue to have these really, really high end things without messing it up. But I have a feeling that for every Willie Mays, there's a Sonny Gray, or I guess, as you say, maybe for every 5 Willie Mays, there's 1 Sonny Gray, and with plus a redemption to make it okay. But eventually, I don't know, it might be a little saturated. And
yeah, that's the other thing. The more stuff that is shoved into a product to add value, the more that added value gets devalued simply because there's just too much stuff. I mean, you can say what you will about the all this stuff, the variations and the twinks and the pie in the face and all the insert sets and all the autograph sets and all the relic sets. Yeah, those add value to Case Breaker, but at the same time, it has pretty much killed the master set collector, which just less than 10 years ago, that was a serious high-end hardcore collector in the hobby. Is someone who wanted one of every card in that set, and you used to be able to do it. I remember in um, 2001, when Topps T206 came out, there were people who wanted every single mini card variation, and there were, I think, 3 or 4 tiers, and it was possible back then. With the Allen and Ginter sets from this year, I don't think that's possible anymore.
Yeah.
With all of the insert sets, with all of the parallel sets, with at least 1 or 2, or maybe 3 one-of-one parallel sets, you've killed the master set collector. Which, is it good or bad in the long run? Time will tell.
Yeah. I agree. Let's see. Next up, we've got Reader Mike asks, has Topps ever offered an explanation as to why they duplicate photos with regularity for their various products in any given year? I guess we've sort of addressed this earlier. They seem to replicate pictures for different products, which doesn't make sense given the thousands of photos available of mainstream athletes. So Topps been doing this for Hank Aaron since the 50s.
This has been happening literally since Topps started, and probably, well,
Yes.
I'm not sure about earlier than that. Actually, yes. Now that I come to think of it, there are a lot of portraits in the original T206 set that you can find in other cigarette and candy sets of the time. I know for a fact the Eddie Plank and the Honus Wagner cards, 2 very rare cards in T206. You can find that same portrait, I think, on a caramel card. So they've been reusing pictures since the early days. As to why they do it now, money. I mean,
budget.
every time you print a copyrighted material on a card, you have to pay a licensing fee to whoever owns that copyright. And, Getty Images, there's all kinds of sports photos on Getty Images, and each one costs some money. I know it's not just Topps, because I remember Upper Deck did this all the time with their legend sets. I've got about 8 cards of Phil Necro in the exact same picture where he's got his knuckleball grip,
Yep.
where he's got it shoved up in the camera like he's Count Floyd, with a woo 3D action. The exact same picture on 8, 9, maybe a dozen different cards. And it's money. And you say, well, why don't they stop being cheap and just use different pictures? How many sets are out there? Topps has put out, 18 different sets this year? And each set has half a dozen to a dozen insert sets, not counting the relics and autographs and all that. That's a lot of pictures. So pictures are going to get recycled. I wish they would not use the exact same picture on their Heritage card and the Gypsy Queen card and the Allen and Ginter card,
Yes.
and maybe even the Topps base card. That's where it starts getting lazy, and it looks like Topps doesn't give a crap about the lower end part of the spectrum. Is when all the base cards look the same. It's like, if you want to recycle the picture, maybe do it on some insert cards or some autograph cards. But base cards.
But really, I mean, who's going to notice? You
Yeah.
know, I mean, just the fanatics, right?
Exactly. Because I wouldn't mind that at all.
So-
If the picture on the Heritage card was the same picture that they used in Dynasty, I mean, I'm not gonna own both of those cards most likely.
Yeah, right.
So but when all the pictures on the sets that I collect, Heritage and Ginter and Flagship and maybe some of the Gypsy Queens and Bowmans and stuff, when they all have the exact same cards, that's when it's blatantly obvious
Yeah.
on all the base cards. So that would be my suggestion to Topps if they're listening. You can recycle all the pictures you want, just not all on the base cards. Mix up the base cards a little bit.
Mike also asks, could you two offer some advice on finding tougher copies of cards for player collectors besides trolling eBay or dumb lucking it at a show or blaster box?
I've
got an answer if you don't.
I find oddball cards basically by trolling eBay, or Check Out My Cards is also a good resource, because you can go on there, do a search for, say, Mark Lemke, look at all their Mark Lemke cards, and you'll find some weirdo stuff that you may have never seen before. I know there were at least one or two Fleer Ultra Platinum Mark Lemke cards on there at one point or another. And those aren't exactly easy to find, even if they're not the one-of-one versions. But, yeah, I'll listen to your advice, because that's trolling eBay or dumb lucking. I depend on dumb luck a lot. I'll just say that.
Well, my suggestion, and this is just from experience with my blog, is that a fairly common thing that happens is I'll get a comment on a blog post from like 4 years ago with someone saying they have this card that I was writing about and they're offering to sell it to me. So I would say, this is not a fast option, but write about the cards you want on a blog. Start something, like just do something with your needs list, so it gets out there onto Google. People, if they're going to sell, they'll sometimes search the card, find that you're asking for that card. And so that's really a way other than eBay. Check Out My Cards. Listia, if you've heard of that, is sort of an option. It sort of doesn't really run on money as sort of like these credit points things. So, but they have baseball cards on there. Craigslist, of course. But I would say if you really are ambitious about trying to find something that is rare or tough to find, start a blog and write about it.
Yeah, that or forums. I've never
Forums, yeah, definitely.
big into forums, but I know there's a hotbed of trading on there of all kinds of oddball and harder to find stuff, especially high end.
Junior Junkie asks, will Upper Deck ever get their license back? Should they? Would you be excited if they did?
If Upper Deck doesn't go into bankruptcy before they get a license, then they'll get a license back. Upper Deck has been on kind of shaky ground for a while now.
Yeah.
They're making money. They're still hanging in there, and I think they make good products, and I hope they get it back at one point. As far as if they should, I don't think they should have ever lost it, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I wish I agree about that. I mean, I wish that if we're going to do what we're doing here with the licenses, maybe be more specific. I mean, Topps, there's no reason why we need 18 products or however many, 20 some by the end of the year. It's like, I don't know, maybe give Upper Deck like the ability to make just like a huge, a huge set, like a Topps Total we talk about, or something like a comprehensive set of the
they used
the
to
year.
have Upper Deck 40 man.
Yeah, Sure, yeah. Let them. I mean, give them something to start with. I don't know, something that can compete with, but adding something new into the marketplace. Like,
Yes.
I don't know if they want to get that specific with the card companies as to what they can make and what they can't, but there's plenty of room for new ideas just for one or two products that Upper Deck could have success with. I would love to see that. Junior also asks, "What's your favorite Griffey?" Meaning Ken Griffey Jr., I assume, not Ken Griffey Sr.
Fred
I mean,
McGriffey.
there's probably just one answer, I guess. The '89 Upper Deck, a card that I've never actually owned. Come to think about it, I really need to get on that.
They are surprisingly affordable right now.
Are they now?
I got mine for under $10. It's not
No.
gem mint.
Yeah.
I think it's got a ding corner or whatever, but it's better than dropping $100 on a low series box.
Yes. I'll have to look at. Yeah. Well, gosh, why don't I own that?
That's
Why isn't that on my
that
needs
is
list? I'm just thinking
that
right
is
now.
something that my eyes have opened to recently. There's all these cards that I just assumed I would never be able to get, and a lot of it. This happened a few years ago when I realized, oh wait, I can complete all those sets from the 70s. All those rookie cards from the 70s, and I thought, well, those are just completely out of my price range. And even stuff from the 80s, like I never thought I could pick up Mark McGwire rookie or a Don Mattingly rookie or a Darryl Strawberry rookie, and you can find that stuff dirt cheap now. And you just have to forget all of the stuff that you learned back in the boom days and actually go out and look for it. Another example, Thurman Munson, 1971 card. That's as easily as iconic as that Ken Griffey card. And I was like, well, I can never afford that. And then our buddy Roger came down with Sports Memories from Oklahoma. And $17.50 in the bargain box. So. And
and if you're not that concerned about condition, you can find even better deals.
Absolutely. But
and our last question of the evening deals with a very important issue. How do you feel about wearing jeans with Crocs?
Okay. Crocs, I personally think, are kind of goofy looking.
Yes.
They're pretty ugly. And my son loves them for some reason, and especially likes bright yellow ones. I've never worn them, so I don't know what they feel like. I know some people think they are amazingly comfortable and easy to wear. And if you like wearing them, then wear them with whatever the hell you want to wear them with. It's the same thing with Uggs. Everybody's like, oh, those are stupid looking, they're ugly, they're terrible. And I've seen people make fun of Uggs all the time. Apparently, they are absolutely comfortable as hell. So, if you got a pair of shoes that you find are comfortable and you like them, you wear them. With jeans,
I have a nephew who likes Crocs.
Yeah, with jeans or with shorts or capris or whatever. And I'm saying this as a man who thinks that legit leather sandals, I mean, good leather sandals, not like Walmart leather sandals, are extraordinarily comfortable, and in the winter you should be able to wear socks with them.
Yep, definitely.
So,
I mean, in Georgia, it's like sandals that's a sandals and socks. That's an all year long type thing. So,
and if you look stupid, then who cares? We're grown ass men talking about baseball cards and monster movies and My Little Pony on the fucking internet.
Yeah.
At 2
I gotta draw the line at Crux,
at 2:13 a.m. on a Wednesday night. What day is this?
Yes.
I don't even know what day it
Yes.
is.
No, it's
Oh
Thursday.
God, it's Thursday
morning.
now. So you really think we care about wearing Crocs?
So,
For God's sake, I watch
Gotta-
My Little Pony
yes.
play Pokemon. How can you embarrass me? I am unembarrassable. I'm gonna wear Crocs with a dress now, just because. Why the fuck not?
so this,
That's where we are now.
this is our third episode, but this is actually the first episode in which we've actually come to the end of the show without technical
Yeah, without something
malfunction or
blowing up,
either.
my hard drives are probably
Yeah,
gonna
so-
crash on me now.
So this concludes a meeting of the
And no
Basic
hum,
Art
I hope.
Preservation
Am I
Society.
humming?
Oh, I don't think so. No.
Okay, no more hum.
No.
I hope, maybe.
So let me do a little business here in which you can now find the podcast on iTunes, also on Stitcher. Just search for Trading Card Preservation Society. If you go to heartbreakingcards.com, I've got a link there. You can always get all the information on where to download all the podcasts. But I mean, if you're listening to this, you already know how to do it. So
Absolutely. And I'll put something on my blog eventually. I can't be lazy
Maybe-
forever, folks.
yeah, put a scan of the Fenway Park card.
There you go. I still need to post the damn playoff set. I've got all that stuff scanned.
Oh, yeah,
and
you
I've
got
never
it.
posted it. I'm a lazy
Jeez.
bum. Oh well.
And we'll be back again before the end of the year with our first annual Trading Card Preservation Society award ceremony, in which we dish out our best ofs in a whole host of categories, baseball, trading card, and pop culture related, and maybe best sandwich of the year or something like that.
There you
Any last thoughts?
go. I need to
Any
go
last
to
comments?
sleep.
Yes,
I have work
agree.
in the morning. Actually, it is the morning.
It is the morning. Okay, signing off.
Has
Until
grown.
next time.